everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer. Today we're going to take a look at all the new Pat McGrath blushes. These are the Duo blushes. I also picked up one of the highlighters, so we'll talk about that. And I will swatch all of those and the former blushes that Pat McGrath came out with, the single blushes, so you can see which ones look similar or, contrast between the new ones and the old ones. So if you're interested in seeing that, just stay tuned. Hey everybody, so as we all know, Pat McGrath came out with new Duo blushes and I did pick up all of them. I wasn't going to. I actually mentioned something on Instagram about this, asking if I should pick them all up. I know that there's probably one Duo that's gonna be just too deep for me. That's not gonna work for my skin tone pretty much, but I have someone in mind who it can go to. So that was my rationale in picking them all up. I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. But also, Pat McGrath makes really good blush. The singles that came out are really good. They're very pigmented. You need like the tiniest bit of these products to get a beautiful flush look. I don't use a lot of blush, but I can honestly say that, if they don't go bad, I'll have these for forever. They're 18 months shelf life. The new ones are 18 months as well. You can't tell a difference between the new blush and the old blush just based on the packaging. The box that it comes in is very, very similar to the original, not the original, to the former single blushes as well. So we're gonna swatch today. My hair is freshly washed and somewhat damp, so it's driving me nuts because I didn't have time to do it because I wanted to get this video in. So I'm probably just gonna pull it back so it's not in our way. Okay, that's better, and I'll deal with it later. So let's just start. Let's just dig in. So this one is Aphrodite Amore. You've got a rose shade and sort of a brighter pink shade here. And I'll go ahead and swatch those. We're gonna try to fit them all, if at all possible. That shade is more of has a little bit of luminosity to it. This one is more matte-like. And that one is Aphrodite Amore. Then let's go to Venusian Sunrise. This one has a little bit more of that lavender kind of shade. Do the rose part first in each one, and then the rays emanating from the rose. This one definitely is brighter in tone. Neither one of those looks particularly it has a luminosity to me. This one has a little bit more luminosity, but these two look to be similar, okay? And if I can find descriptions of each shade and what's the makeup of each shade, I will put that below as I do this, but I didn't see them immediately. All right, so this is Cosmic Coral. And I have to say the brown shade in here, I just find interesting. The way that these are made though, I think it's gonna be hard to not mix the shades because they're so close to each other. With a brush, I just think you're gonna get, contamination from the other shade. I think if you went in with a really narrow brush, but then it's not gonna really be blush. And that one again is Cosmic Coral. We have Divine Rose 2. Start with rose shade. These are very soft. They swatch really easily, go on the skin beautifully. I have tried them out, so that's Divine Rose 2. Paradise Glow. I admit this was the one that actually attracted me the most. I'm not sure why, but I really liked these shades. I'm gonna have to be very careful with these because they're gonna be deep for me, but I I just liked the tone. I liked the hue of them. I think because they're almost like bronzy pink in nature. That's Paradise Glow. All right, and last but not least is the one that if I use on my face, I'm going to have to be very, very careful with. This is Night Bloom. It's beautiful. I mean, it's really stunning. Just to look at, it's stunning, but it's pigmented, super pig. They all are, but this one in particular, the red in here is red. And, you know, on my skin tone, that's probably not gonna look great unless I diffuse it like greatly, which I can do, and I'll show you how to do that. But you can see it's so much more pigmented than all the others. If you're looking for a really deep, really pigmented blush, and especially if you have a deeper skin tone, this, I think, I mean, it's just stunning. I have not seen a red blush like that. That kind of pigment is really amazing. Like, Pat McGrath, that's that's impressive. When I did the pictures outside of the blushes, this one, like I wiped all the rest off and this just sort of stayed on my arm. So it's gonna stick around. All right, so let's take a look at the single blushes. This is Flirtatious. Is it Flirtatious? Yeah, I think that's it. Or is it Flirtations? Either, I think it's Flirtatious. But so that's that shade. We're gonna swatch them close to these others so you can kind of see. I think it's gonna be in this range here, but we'll see. This is actually one of my favorites. Yeah, it's got sort of a pinky beige kind of shade. It's light. It doesn't actually match any of them, but I have to say it's probably the closest to the first one, which is Aphrodite Amore. If you like Flirtatious, you're probably gonna like these over here. All right, next is Divine Rose. That's Divine Rose. So let's watch it near the Divine Rose. That's Divine Rose. The others I'll put it like this too so you can see. I think that is a good, like, almost combination of these two shades. I could see that. Let's see, we have Nymphette. That's Nymphette. Nymphette is also a favorite. Nymphette, I think, does pick up like these two shades almost put together because it has a little bit of purple, but I think it has a little bit more shimmer underneath it. I mean, I know that she said that these are, some of them are like more luminous shades and some of them are semi-mattes, but they all seem more matte-like to me. Like, I don't, semi-mattes, I don't really notice a lot of luminosity in these blushes, but maybe when they're on the skin, so. All right, next one. This is Paradise Venus. I have to say, I think these are more pigmented than the duos, or at least they feel like they are. You can see how like pigmented that is, and it's definitely like the Paradise Glow. Paradise Venus and Paradise Glow are very similar. I would say though that it's deeper in tone than even the deepest tone in Paradise Glow. It's actually one of my favorite shades, but again, I have to be careful with it because it's pigmented. So these might be a little, the duos might actually be a little better for me. All right, Desert Orchid. Yeah, these seem, to me, so far, the singles seem more pigmented than the duos. That's just what I'm getting so far. So the Desert Orchid is actually another favorite of mine. It looks similar to the shade in Paradise Glow, the lighter shade. It also looks similar to the one in, is it Coral? Yeah, Cosmic Coral. This shade in Cosmic Coral. I'd say they're similar. And then the last one is Nude Venus. I don't have the deeper shades, the really deep shades in the single blushes. Yeah, these seem more pigmented to me. I don't know, maybe just because I've used them more and so they're softer. They just seem more pigmented. Except for this one. This one is extremely pigmented. Yeah, Night Bloom is very pigmented. Night Bloom seems to be the only one that's as pigmented though as the single blushes. Again, I could be, you know, these are new. Maybe they're just not swatching as well yet. But Night Bloom is extremely pigmented. There's no doubt. But I think what I could show you is that these are, I think they're less pigmented. I think you can see that by the swatches, except for the Night Bloom. So I think, let's talk about the Night Bloom for a second. I think this is going to be too deep for someone as pale as I am. However, I can show you how you could use it if you really are attracted to this color story. The first thing I'd say is you want to find a very, very soft, fluffy brush. I mean, we're talking very, very fluffy. I'm trying to find, okay, this will work. This is an F03 brush. This is a Chikuhoda brush. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this. I'm just going to go into both sides. And the way I would wear this, if you're as pale as I am, but you really like this red purple thing, is you're going to have to go in super light. Like just touch it to your face. You see how pigmented that is? I mean, this one reminds me of, frankly, the single blushes pigment level, more so than all of the other blushes. The other blushes seem like a lighter pigment to me. Just to me. You know, I have to play around with them a lot more. I just got them. So take a buffer brush and you have a wearable blush. I don't have any tanner, I don't have any bronzer on right now, and I don't have any eye makeup on. So obviously I'd want to put some eye makeup on and bronze my face up and finish the look. But I think you can see you can wear it. This will die down in a minute or so because it'll actually sink into the skin. You can wear this one, but it'll take me like 30 years to go through this because I literally touched it to my face and, you know, it's so pigmented and it's beautiful. It's a stunning blush. It's just, this is going to work for deep skin tones, which is great because there's, as she said, there's a variety of shades that should work for everybody. So this, I have somebody in mind who I think would look fabulous in this. So I'm probably just going to gift that because I won't wear it. It's not that I don't like this, how this looks. I actually think this is really pretty if I finish off my makeup. But the thing is, I won't do it that often because I have all these other blushes that will work really well for my skin tone and I won't have to be so careful with them, right? You know, it'll just be, I can be easier with it. So anyway, I wanted to show you that because I think that is something that a lot of people, I was interested in it because I was like, it's beautiful, but could I wear it? And honestly, you can wear anything you want, but I do think it's probably too pigmented for somebody who's as pale as I am. So what I'm going to do is I will wash this off. I have the Chanel Touch, by the way, on my face. But I'll wash this off. I'll put my foundation back on, and then we'll try, I think we can do like 2 duos and see how they work. Okay, we're back. So I've got nothing on my face but foundation. So let's use today, let's use the Cosmic Coral and the Paradise Glow. So I'm going to use the Paradise Glow kind of as more of a contour. And you can see, like, guys, I have barely touched my face with this. And I'm using a super soft brush. Like, super soft. I'm gonna blend it in a little bit to get, and I'll use bronzer, which will help, but you see how pigmented that is? Look at that. I mean, that is super pigmented. And I barely touched my face. Let's take this is the Cosmic Coral. Look at that. Look at how pigmented these are. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to tell you guys. Like, so even though on my arm they didn't seem as pigmented as the singles, they're pigmented. All of these are. I'm just buffing this in a little bit to diffuse it. Still gonna be very bright blush on me. But you can see, like, you just barely have to touch these and they're gonna be pigmented. So for those of you who, when I talked about the Chanel Le Beiges blushes being very, very natural looking and very light, these are the antithesis of that. These are super pigmented blushes that I think will work on practically anyone. And what I would say, I think these will be, in general, better for somebody who likes a bright blush look, or for somebody with a deeper skin tone. For those of you that are very pale like myself, I think the shades Aphrodite Amore will work really well. I think the shade Museum Sunrise will work well. Again, this is if you like a lighter, you know, more subtle blush look. Divine Rose 2 will work. They'll be a little bit brighter, but those will work. And the Night Bloom will just, if you like a subdued light look and you're pale, that's not gonna be it. Cosmic Coral is what I have on my cheeks. Again, it's actually very pigmented, guys. It shows up really well. The Paradise Glow is what I have on as like almost contour hair. You see how bright and how pigmented that is. So I would say, you know, there are three, the ones I just talked about, that are, I think, better suited for deeper skin tones, or for those of you who like a really bright blush look. And then I think the three, the Venusian Sunrise, the Aphrodite Amore, and the Divine Rose 2 are better suited for people who have pale skin or just really want a very, you know, more subtle look. They're not going to be as subtle as the Chanel Le Beiges, no matter what you do, because they're just a more pigmented product. I'm going to take a little bit of foundation and go over that. That's a trick that you can use if you put on too much blush, or if you're looking for like what they call the reverse, I think they call it reverse, I forget what they call it, reverse makeup look. You basically put your blush product or your bronzer product on first, and then you put your foundation over it. And you get more of that lip from within kind of thing going on, because, you know, it's underneath the layer of foundation. I'm just putting the touch over it. It's still going to be bright, because this is a this is the pigmented blush, but it's less than it was. I also want to mention that these two little lip glosses came with it. They're very cute. If you spent more than $90, I think it is, you got the two lip glosses, and I'll put the shade names, but I do have the shade on my lips right now. I actually like it. I don't really love the applicator, because it's like hard to pull out, but the gloss is nice. It's a very pretty, practical shade. I think that will work for most people. All right, so let's talk about the highlighter. This is Lunar Allure. And this shade is very bright platinum, I would say. It's got a little bit of peach to it, but I'd say this is an icy, pearlescent kind of highlighter. So again, you're gonna wanna be careful with this one if you like a subtle look. I'm tapping it. That was tapping it. Okay, so I like this highlighter. Actually, I think it's a pretty highlighter. I actually like the shade for me, because it's got this like icy whiteness, and I don't really have too many products that are like this. The Burberry one is a little bit similar, although that's whiter, frankly. But yeah, it's a really pretty highlighter, and I think it's really nice compared to some of the other ones I have, and I'll have some swatches up on Instagram hopefully soon. But if there's ones you want me to compare it to, let me know. And you can see on my arm, by the way, again, the microfiber towel took off all of it except for the Night Bloom Red. That's still on my skin, because that thing is pigmented. So yeah, that's what it looks like on the face. It's a very pretty highlighter. I like the Pat McGrath highlighters. But again, I I think this is a, discussion around like aesthetic. Pat McGrath aesthetic versus like a Bobbi Brown aesthetic. They're very different. And so it depends on what you're looking for and what you like. But the blushes, there's no question that they perform. It's a question of what are you looking for? Do you want a very pigmented duo blush like these? Or do you want something really super subtle and glowy from within like the Chanel Le Beiges? Totally different things. So just depends on your taste. I also want to mention before we go that with my order, I also did get her new Divine Skin Rose, the Essence. I will try it. It's 100% agree. This skin appears instantly transformed, hydrated, plump, and glowing. So I'll try it. This transformative biphasic essence prepares skin with nourishing hydration and instant luminosity. Rose biotic enriched rose water smooths and redefines. Formulated with 92% naturally derived ingredients. So I'll try it and let you know what I think of it. It was nice. It's a good sized sample in there, so I think that's great. So I will continue to use the blushes. I will tell you right now that I will probably lean towards the three that I mentioned that I think are more suited for paler skin. Again, this isn't a you can't wear that or you must wear this. It all depends on your aesthetic and what you like. But these are pigmented blushes, and if you're somebody who goes for a more subdued look like I do, some of these blushes are probably going to be too pigmented for you. Hopefully the swatches were helpful. I'll have more about longevity and how they last. I'm pretty sure these are going to last like the singles, but we'll see. And yeah, I mean, again, these are excellent products. There's very little from Pat McGrath that I feel doesn't work or that the formula is bad. Usually the formula is excellent and the products are pigmented and work like they're supposed to. It's just a question of what color story you like and what level of pigmentation you're looking for. So hopefully that was helpful. And I think that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.